the zakah on sheep and goats. The nisab and the obligatory amount that Abu Bakr wrote for him, the obligatory zakah that Allah obliged upon his messenger. The instructions included concerning the zakah on a freely grazing herd of sheep, goats, if it is between 40 and 120 sheep, goats. One sheep goat is required as zakah if the herd of sheep goats is between 120 and 200 sheep. 2 sheep goats are to be given if the number of sheep goats is between 200 and 300 sheep goats. 3 sheep goats are to be given on every extra 100 sheep goats. 1 sheep goat is to be given as zakah if somebody has less than 40 freely grazing sheep goats. No zakah is required from him, but if he wants to give something he may do so. Prerequisites for the obligation of zakah on livestock. Possessing the nisab. This is obvious from the preceding hadith that they be in the possession of the person for 1 year. This is based on the hadith, there is no zakah on wealth until 1 year passes over it in one's possession. That the livestock be freely grazing on pastures as opposed to fodder fed. For most of the year, this is based on the hadith mentioned earlier. Concerning the zakah on a freely grazing herd of sheep, if it is between 40 and 120 sheep, 1 sheep is required as zakah, and concerning freely grazing camels. For every 40, one should give a young camel. What is not to be taken as zakah? When the Messenger of Allah sent Mu'adh to Yemen, he told him, avoid taking the best of their wealth. Wrote to him concerning the obligatory zakah that Allah obligated upon his messenger, and he stated, neither an old nor a blemished animal nor a male goat may be taken as zakah unless the zakah collector accepts it. Co-owned wealth. If two or more people share in some wealth upon which zakah is due, and it is not possible to distinguish one's wealth from the other, then they are to pay one zakah payment if zakah is obligatory upon them. Anas narrated that Abu Bakr wrote to him the obligatory zakah that Allah obliged upon his messenger, saying, neither should the property of different people be collected so as to make one whole, nor should the whole property be divided for fear of giving more zakah. If property is possessed by 2 partners, they should pay zakah collectively, and they will be considered as having paid their zakah equally. Zakah on buried treasures. Buried treasures are those buried in pre-Islamic times which are discovered without expending much wealth or effort. One must pay zakah immediately upon them, without the prerequisites of it being in one's possession for a year or it reaching the level of the nisab. This point is based on the generality of the Prophet's statement, 1/5 is to be paid as zakah upon found buried treasures. The recipients of zakah, Allah has said, the alms are only for the poor, the needy, those employed to collect the funds, and to attract the hearts of those who have been inclined towards Islam, and to free the captives, and for those in debt, and for Allah's cause, and for the wayfarer, a traveller who is cut off from everything. A duty imposed by Allah, and Allah is all-knower, all-wise. In his commentary to this verse, Ibn Kathir said, when Allah mentioned the objection to the Prophet made by the ignorant hypocrites and their ridiculing of him with respect to the